And then another person was saying, how do you do that practically? How do you make a home in yourself practically? And it's not easy, I have found, because you have to deal with all the stuff that we use other people for. Like you have to deal with loneliness, lots of loneliness, which doesn't sound like any fun at all. And it isn't if you're not doing it consciously. Like being lonely just because, for no reason, or just because you happen to find yourself without any people around or friendless, which is common, it's common, more common than you think. That's just suffering, in which case it's easy to deal with that. You just join a lot of social clubs, a lot of things that you're interested in, and you'll have lots of people around you very quickly and you won't feel so lonely. But if you want to build a home inside yourself, if you want to access the room with the love in it that's already there, you kind of have to go into the loneliness. You have to face it. Because loneliness is this idea of, it really what it comes down to is there's nothing outside me that reflects inside me. I look out into the world and I don't see anything that reflects me. It's all alien. It's all not me. And that's hard to face. But once you begin to face it, you start to get through it. Now, it can take a long time. It can take years to repeatedly, consciously go into it, to not shy away from it. Because often we shy away from loneliness, we distract ourselves with the million and one things that we can distract ourselves. So it's to not distract yourself, to go into it. And as I said, the switches that people turn on, the people that we love turn on, become sliders. And slowly, over time, you don't feel lonely. And then over more time, you notice that you feel those feelings of love. The door to that room is open, just a little crack. And then more time, it's open wider and wider. So really it comes down to being conscious about it. And going, yeah, I get that thing of I never feel love in another person's body. It's always inside me. So it stands to reason that if I can find out how to access what's already inside me, then I can feel those feelings all the time. I can access those feelings. Once you figure that out and you go, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for that. Because ultimately, I don't want to get too Tibetan Buddhist here about it, because I'm not a Tibetan Buddhist, but they're pretty fixated on it. It's all a preparation for death, which sounds very macabre. But when you think about like the pain of letting it all go, because I don't know, I haven't died, but it looks like that's what would be painful about death, doesn't it? Like having to say goodbye to everything. Everything. I mean, the nice thing is that that is balanced with, we do it every night anyway, and it's not so bad. The reason why the difference between going to sleep and dying is that when you're going to sleep, you know you're going to wake up in the morning, and when you're dying, you don't know where you're going, and that might be it. That's the only difference I can see. I mean, as I say, I don't know. I haven't died, so I'll tell you when I do. But I've never been too interested in material things, even though I'm very interested in manifestation at the moment. But that's because I want to get more involved in making world peace happen. And anyway, that's a side thing. I've only been interested in things that I think I can take with me, and that's all the internal stuff. So that's why I'm interested in that stuff. And it seems like being able to find the love that's inside me. And again, it comes from that practical thing of like, oh, I'm in love with this person. They're right beside me. I feel it. It's so fantastic. Where do I feel it? In them? No, in me. It's always in me. So it's in me. They're just allowing me to access what's already in me. So it stands to reason then, that if I can access it without needing to have them around, then I've got access to it all the time. And maybe it's something I can take with me. So that's a good thing. That's another good motivator as well. So it means it frees you up to love everybody a lot more, because you're not on the hunt. You're not on the hunt for this special person to give you the key to the room that's already inside you. That frees up a lot of energy on the inside when you're not on the hunt for the special person. And then it frees you up to just love everybody a lot more than it's like, no, I'm saving all my love for this person, you know? And you're just an acquaintance, you're just a friend, you're an annoying family member, you're, this other thing, and so on. It's like, because you access the love inside you, it changes you. It gives you a lot more love, a lot more access to love. And you can love the postman, you can love the greengrocer, you can love the person who's annoying pulls out in front of you in traffic or whatever. You can love everybody a lot more. That's what I found anyway. Because you're not, looking for the special person to have the big, huge, big love affair story with, because the big love stories are really just stories about the big access, the person's been able to access profound love inside themselves, because they don't feel it in the other person's body. So solitude and loneliness. That's the answer to that question. Or how do you do it? How do you do it practically? It's like you go into the loneliness. You face it. You go right into the loneliness, and the more solitude you have, the better. The easier it is, the quicker it goes, because people are distracting. From this particular process, people are distracting because it's finding the love inside requires a lot of silence on the inside to be able to begin to feel it coming up, I'm not saying you can't do it when you're with somebody, but they're distracting because without meaning to, you'll just keep relating back and forth to them. You'll keep playing out all the childhood stuff, all the attachment stuff that just keeps going. It's very hard to turn it off. So being on your own is very helpful to get there. Not necessary, I don't think, but very helpful. But I think it really just does start with this thing of like wanting it. If you kind of go, yeah, that makes sense, I'm going to go for that. That's the beginning of it. And then life, you reflected in life, here's that, and kind of goes, okay, well, let's get on with that. Let's get on with that process.